Anybody nervous?
You should be.
Stage fright? First time on stage?
You'll have to forgive me. I don't have a great deal of experience in speaking to audiences. Most of my expertise lies in drinking before one. Would you please join me in thanking our gracious hosts, Phil and Pat Giannini, and Mark and Kim Skaja. For those of you whom I have yet to have the pleasure of meeting, my name is Dave Sarkis, and it is a privilege and an honor to speak to you this evening as Joshua's best man, or as he has often referred to me, his Dave of Honor. With this charge comes great responsibility. I have not taken my duties as Dave of Honor lightly. I have researched the subject exhaustively. And I've got to say, I'm pretty pleased with myself. Now, as we discussed at dinner last night, I will keep my comments brief. First, a bit of history. Having a best man in attendance originated from the days when a man would literally kidnap a woman from her family's home in order to marry her. In preparation for this endeavor, the groom would enlist the help of his strongest and most trusted friend. To accompany him on the conquest. When her family came rushing to rescue her, the best man was there, ready to fight, both on the flight away from her home and at the service, should the family decide to try and take her back. And so I stand before you, prepared and determined to kick ass. These traditions are represented in different ways in other cultures around the world. In Uganda, the best man is expected to guide the newlyweds in the ways of marriage. This means that ideally the best man should be married, preferably to one wife, and should be in position to give sound, tried, and tested advice. In Bhutan, the best man presents himself at the wedding as a ceremonial guardian to both bride and groom. Thereafter, he entertains the guests, often for several hours. This is very likely to occur this evening. Now, there is a tradition in our own culture of the best man regaling the guests at the reception with embarrassing anecdotes and tales of the groom's antics in the years prior. And as much as I would enjoy sharing such tales of debauchery and recklessness, I cannot. For I have never been present in any such activity. Nor did I participate in any behavior of this kind. Some of you may not know exactly how Josh and Kim first met. It was at a wedding reception in Lake Geneva. Very similar to the one we find ourselves at tonight. And so I must say, a word of warning. Gentlemen, watch your back. Kim, or should I say, Mrs. Skaja. Let's try that on, shall we? Good evening, Mrs. Skaja. Such a pleasure to see you, Mrs. Skaja. My, you look radiant this evening, Mrs. Skaja. Doesn't she? Now, some of you may find this all rather confusing, as Joshua's mother is also Kim Skaja. And it was this dilemma that became a topic of conversation one day. How to appropriately refer to each of these individuals without slighting the other. Now, most of you are probably aware that Joshua and I are in the entertainment business. And although it can look like fun and games from the outside, the reality of our work is quite different. Between the performances and the scheduling and the travel and the rehearsals, especially during the summer, it leaves very little time for anything else. But we did manage to carve out a little sliver of time from both of our hectic schedules, albeit brief, for some semblance of a bachelor party. And it was during those 3 days that this subject came up. So it was after some spirited debate, or spirit-fueled debate, if you will, that we settled upon a creative solution. Coming to a record store near you, K-Love and the original Kim. Listen for their new hit single, He's My Boy Now, hitting the airwaves soon. All kidding aside, they say there comes a moment in everyone's life when they realize that they are standing face to face with the one person capable of understanding them and caring for them for the rest of their lives. For Joshua, that moment came when he met me 12 years ago. And it was it. And it was at that moment, ladies and gentlemen, when I was given a friend for life. The only person in my life that I have ever been able to turn to with the utmost confidence and say, please go play this gig for me tonight. I just cannot stand to be Mr. Entertainment one more time. To everyone who has made this day possible, I am honored to be sitting amongst you. And from the bottom of my heart, I wish for you both all the best that life can bring. And so we raise our glasses to salute you. Joshua and Kim, our love for you knows no limits. May your love for each other be the same. Let's get it on.